Hello guys, going to be going over the MLB PrizePicks slate for Sunday, June 12th. Did pretty well on Saturday, hit 9 of 13 plays. So going to see if we can keep this going. Doing pretty well here. Now, today for first inning run props, there are 15 games in total, but nothing really stands out for me, so I'm not going to have any, and it's also probably going to mean that I'm not going to have any of the 1.5 hits either. Strikeouts, kind of the same thing. There's a lot of weather concerns actually for today. The first 4 games up here, these 4, they all have rain in the forecast, but they're all early games. So like they could wait it out, they could delay it, things like that, which obviously it's going to mess with the pitchers though. So that's why for now, because we're still a ways away from these games, might be looking at some unders because just how that obviously it could mean a starting pitcher just gets shortened, and then that way you're gonna see a reliever come in right after the delay or something like that, and then they're gonna probably hit the under. So maybe we get another opportunity like Shane Bieber last week. So I'll keep an eye on that, but right now just nothing that stands out. And then pitcher fantasy score. So I got 2. These don't have rain issues. Brad Keller, 27.5. I like the under here. You have Brad Keller, who he hasn't been good this year. He's 26 years old, but like he's regressing year to year. He's not improving, and Baltimore, they're not like the greatest offensive team, but they have a lot of bats that can do some damage. Adley Rutschman seems to be trying to get it going right now. You know, he had a multi-hit game today, double yesterday, I think, off a pinch hit. So Keller, just someone that doesn't strike anyone out, low whiff rates. So we're talking about the scoring. Strikeouts are very important, but he just doesn't get enough. He's only in the 6th percentile. Expected ERA is 4.2, 13.4% K rate, just really low. And then as far as his splits, he's not good against righties like last year. He was just pretty much even, 9-9. Whip was exactly the same. So I like a lot of these Baltimore bats to at least do some damage. The weather still going to be one of the better ones, 89 degrees. So 2, 4.9, 5.3, very high run totals, 8-mile winds blowing right to left. And just, I feel like Brad Keller is too high here. And you can see it with Dakota Hudson as well. The bats against these two pitchers, the hitter projection score, they're kind of high. And you usually don't see that when you have the pitcher scores priced this high up. So I think these are going to get adjusted. They're going to get bumped down. So try to get them in while you can. And Dakota Hudson. So about him, 33.5, the under here against the Reds. So the Reds, their offense is, of course, going to be weaker when they're on the road because of just Great American Ballpark being so good for hitting. But Dakota Hudson, I don't know why they only have a 3.5 run total against him. The weather's very good, 84 degrees, 7-mile winds blowing straight out to center. And I've talked about Hudson before. He is just not good. He is one of the luckiest pitchers this season. Nothing here other than the barrel percentage is good. And yet somehow he is 4-2 with a 2.76 ERA. I think I mentioned it before, but he reminds me of an older, or not older, but like I think 1 or 2 years ago, they had someone, maybe it was John Gant. I don't remember, but there's a Cardinals pitcher that was just getting really lucky, and then you just knew that you knew that he was going to implode at some point, and he did. At some point, Hudson's going to have the same thing. He's going to give up a ton of runs one start. Expected ERA, it's almost 2 full runs higher. Batting average, everything. Hard hit rate's up there. K rate low. He walks a good amount of guys. So at some point, this guy is going to get blown up, and I just think you're looking at a really high projection for someone that they're setting this line off of what he's been doing, but the advanced stats just say that he's not this good. And the hitting conditions are good. The Reds, like Brandon Drury, he's been hot. Joey Votto, we always know how great of a veteran player that he is. He's going to definitely put good at bats against Hudson. So I think at least at the top of this part of the order, it's going to make things tough for Hudson. You're going to have to withstand probably a win, but hopefully, Ashcraft, he hasn't been bad. So maybe somehow the Reds do pull out a win, or at least Hudson doesn't get the win here. So I like this under. I think it's probably a little bit too high. He shouldn't be over 30 in my opinion. And then on to fantasy score. There's two. One is an under. Luis Arias. So he DMP'd last time when he was facing off a lefty. And just because he's always going to be in the lineup when he's facing off a lefty. Twins taking on Jeffrey Springs, a very good pitcher. He was mostly a reliever, but now he's being stretched out to become a starter, and he has been really good. And Arias is just really bad against lefties. Gonna pull the numbers up here, but the conditions for this game, the wind's gonna be blowing in, so just another thing that is gonna obviously make things tough for the hitters. But Arias, someone who doesn't have any power, he walks at a good rate. Doesn't really swing at any bad pitches. Very low hard hit rate. But Jeffrey Springs, he doesn't walk a ton of guys, and he's just really good. And then lefties, he's not tough against lefties at all. He kind of has reverse splits, but the thing is, Arias, though, the hitter, he shows a lot of significant splits here. Lefty just a lot weaker on that side. So for a team with a 4.2 run total here, wins one in. Not sure if he's going to actually be in the lineup, but if he is, I do like it at 7 for the under. And then an over, Xander Bogaerts at 8. So they're taking on Robbie Ray, and Bogaerts usually hitting cleanup now. The Red Sox have had some injuries, and he's at 6.5 against Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray is not a good pitcher. I mean, somehow he won the Cy Young, and this guy is absolutely terrible. At least terrible compared to what people thought he was going to be. And Bogaerts is a tremendous hitter overall against lefties. He's exceptional, 370 on the year. But Ray, he's not good at all. Like, his split's extreme. He gives it up to righties, and it seems like his walk issues are coming back. Bogaerts walks at a good rate, and just the right-lefty advantage for him. Boston, they should have a good run total in this one. They're in Seattle, so not the best ballpark, but just think Bogaerts, you're getting a discount because of the perceived tough matchup, but this is not really a tough spot at all. So taking the over for this one. And then now I'm going to go on to total bases. So Cedric Mullins, going to be my favorite total base prop today. 1.5 over. KC, talking about Brad Keller's under. This is just a good spot for him. Keller, he's pretty much a fastball slider guy against lefties. And Mullins, if you look at his numbers against really any side, but the fastball and slider, he hits those pitches exceptionally well. And then talking about the hitting conditions, Mullins just, if they're going to bring in a lefty later on, he's been hitting them just fine. And the Royals have one of the worst bullpens in the league. So even after Keller is gone, really like Mullins for this. And then Mancini, keep an eye on this. He got defensive sub because he actually played left field. He usually DHs or plays first. If he's DHing or first, especially if DHing, we don't have to worry about that unless it's a game that just gets out of hand. So if he's DHing, I don't think there's going to be any problem about him playing the full 9, but keep an eye on that to be sure. But I do like the over here. And then for the other side, against Dean Kramer for these Royals, really like them. Benintendi and Salvador Perez, both of them look really good. Baltimore, their bullpen also really not anything special, and they're in the same environment, have a slightly higher run total than Baltimore. And these guys, they're two of the best hitters on this team, and this is just a good environment. So going to take the over. Always want overs in high-scoring games. And then we have a 0.51, J.D. Davis, taking the over. I really like this one. Patrick Sandoval, going to be going for the Angels, a lefty. And J.D. Davis, he hits righties just fine. But when he's playing lefties, this is when he gets put in a higher batting order slot. And you look at J.D. Davis, this is really, really incredible. 100% hard hit percentile. And, his expected batting average, 50 points higher than what it is. His splits this year actually been better against righties, but you look at a few seasons ago, like 2019, so much better against lefties, and platoon advantage usually does suit guys well. And then looking at Sandoval, he gives up a very, almost, actually it is over double for his whip. When it comes to facing righties, he walks a ton of guys, which not the best one to take into a base prop, but I really do like JD Davis. Don't think he's going to get pinch hit for. And yeah, just think this is a good spot for him. Should be hitting at least maybe 5th in the order. Also going to be a Sunday night baseball game. It's also going to be an afternoon game, rather. So in Anaheim, and 4.6 run total, winds blowing out. It's pretty warm for today. So I like this for JD Davis. He should be in the lineup. And then for runs and RBIs, there are a ton. So I'm going to try to shorten this video here. But Willy Adames, for him, all these are overs. Adames against Washington. Paulo Espino. The reason why this is not going to be a lock for me is because Adames just came back from injury. But Adames, a reverse split sky. Espino, also a reverse split sky. And there's some rain in the weather, so we have to check on that. That's why it's also not going to be a lock for that reason, but it's the health concern and the weather. That's why it's not going to be a lock. If those were fine, then, I mean, I probably would lock this because he's just going to be hitting second. Espino, nothing special, 5.1 run total, really good, and wind's going to be helping out the righties, so that's why I like this one. Ozzy Albies, he's not looking at BVP because I know you guys are going to look at that. 5 for 6 against Jose Quintana, 2 homers. Yeah, that's great, but it's really the righty-lefty matchup. Ozzy Albies is just a much better hitter when he's facing lefties. And then David Bednar, the best Pirates reliever, he was used on Saturday, only threw 10 pitches, so he might have to, so he could definitely come out and pitch again. But of course, I like Albies against Quintana starting. They have a 5.7 run total. Wind could be blowing out, helping out the righties in this one, 87 degrees. Albies, he hasn't had the best year, but maybe we see him bat higher up in the order because it is a lefty on the mound. So this is one that we're going to have to keep an eye on the batting order for. Same thing with Trevor Story, 0.5 against Robbie Ray. He should lead off because he led off against Righty and Kirby on Saturday. So without Kike, don't see why he wouldn't lead off again today. And then going back up, Manuel Margot taking the over again here, 0.5 against Minnesota. The weather isn't as great. Also, the matchup isn't as great, I would say. But Cole Sands is not a good pitcher. And Margot probably going to be hitting second again. The Rays, they just know how to get it done. So I would trust the fact that Margot can get it done again. So I like the over, but not going to lock this one either. And then Tommy Edman, 0.5. The Reds have one of the worst bullpens in the league. They have the worst ERA right now. But Graham Ashcraft is a very good ground ball pitcher. That's why I'm not going to lock this. And Edman has a near 50% ground ball rate. So he's going to have to find a hole when he does put it on the ground. And Ashcraft, his issue is that he doesn't allow a ton of hard hits. And sure, he allows more soft contact. He's getting guys out in different ways than the strikeout. But I just think the Cardinals offense, at least they should be able to, I hope, knock Ashcraft out of the game early so they can get to the bad bullpen of these Reds. And then Edman, leadoff hitter, always going to like that. So taking the over for this one, usually going to take the over for Edman anytime we do get a chance. And keep an eye on Julio Rodriguez. We don't know who the Red Sox are going to be pitching. Could be a bullpen game. And then the last one, Jake Cronenworth, 0.5. Over here, Herman Marquez just been terrible this year. And Cronenworth seems to be figuring it out right now. Rockies also a very bad bullpen. So just another over. All these runs and RBIs, they're kind of tricky today. Like I was looking into Vaughn, Cesar Hernandez, but just going to keep those guys off for now. But yeah, not going to lock anyone, but I could lock these guys when we do get the batting order. So that's what's really important here. I would say don't play too much money on these if you want to get them in, especially because I think some of these lines might move for the pitchers. But be careful on that because we do need to see the batting order. Some of these can also DMP, so just have to really make sure not to force anything. But that's going to be it for the video for Sunday. A lot of plays, but a lot of this is dependent on the weather and the batting order. So good luck on it. I'll post the plays on Twitter right after this video. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.